go back, go back, go back, go back.
Well, I guess you're wondering how that happened. Let's rewind. So we've been on the mooring ball for about 4 months. I actually really like the mooring ball. It's great. Once we get there, it's relaxing, and the boat just kind of swings with the direction of the wind. It's quite comfortable. But the projects that I can tackle from a mooring ball are greatly reduced. I have to ferry everything on our tiny little dinghy, the Tesla of dinghies. And it's just too hard. So when the marina told us they had a slip available that we could fit into, we were super stoked. We said, yes, we'll take it. So once that slip came open, we got right to it. We left the mooring ball and we got ready to dock in our new slip for the first time. This marina is fairly tight. There's a boat on every mooring ball. So you kind of have to pick a line and follow your line directly into the channel where our slip is at. So I picked a line and just kind of started to weave my way through a number of the boats that were moored right in front of the entrance to the channel between the two fingers where we're going. As I entered the channel, I stayed to the starboard side of the channel, knowing that I'm going to have to turn to port at the very end of the channel. Making things more complicated, there's actually a couple of the water taxis that service the Marina del Rey area. They're wintered here, and so there's one in a slip on either side of the boat as we're going in. And I have to be honest, like, those water taxis are aluminum and they have sharp, pointy angles on the back. These are objects that I do not want to touch as I go by, because they would most definitely gouge Lee Hawk. My neighbor on the port side of my slip is a water taxi, which makes the turning radius into the slip even less forgiving. You really have to nail it as you turn in. I thought I was doing well.
Go back, 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 reverse, 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 fast, fast, fast. Good job. Good job. Okay, you're good.
It looks like we touched. Let's replay that. Close, but nope, didn't touch. I'm gonna count this as a dub. Thank you, Jillian. The boat is safe. Nothing got broke. Didn't kill my wife. So now that we're in the slip, I finally get to tackle a project that I've wanted to do since we got the boat. The Princess bench that came with the boat was just in horrible condition. It was a single plank, it was slightly bowed, it was the two front pieces had cracked off. And for the first week we were on the boat, that Princess bench was just a home for a local seagull. But that bench is the best seat in the house on Lee Hawk, so that's what I decided to tackle first. I wanted a tough, hard wood and was looking for an alternative to teak and came across ipe wood. Ipe wood is a Brazilian hardwood that is sometimes called ironwood due to its durability and ability to withstand pretty harsh conditions. It has a natural resistance to moisture and decay and withstands the salt water and sun rays better than most other woods. I started out by creating a paper pattern of the shape of the original bench. I figured I might want that later to make it easier to trace out the shape of the new bench top. I'm gluing together planks of ipe wood to create my bench top surface. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing. My late grandfather was an incredible carpenter. My father is an incredible handyman. I learned tons from him growing up. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have a good idea what I'm trying to do. This is Type Bond 3, a waterproof wood glue that says it's rated for exterior applications, so we're gonna give it a try. My plan is to create a new bench top, then attach it to the original bottom bench top, effectively creating a new bench top that's twice as thick, and it has a brand new surface across the top. So this glue job just needs to hold all my planks together enough to cut out the pattern I want. You'll see what I mean in a bit. I didn't want to waste too much of the ipe wood, so I created a rough approximation of the shape of the bench. I continued gluing planks together and used those long bar clamps to hold everything together. It's right about now that I'm realizing that all that overflow wood glue might not be that easy to remove after it dries, so I'm trying to get off as much as possible. A professional carpenter, I am not. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little glue here, a little clamp there, maybe some screws to hold it together. It's just, it's improvisational at best. Wood jazz. A perfect example of some improvisation. I thought it might be a good idea to fill the seams between all the planks with wood glue. I don't know if this will turn out, but it seems reasonable. All I have to do later is sand off the excess. Once the planks were dry, I traced the shape of the bench onto the new bench top. 2 pieces of the original bench had broken off, and I found them stowed in the transom. So I'm going to reattach those to the original and make sure the new top bench matches the same shape. My intention is to bond the original bench to the new bench top with both wood glue and a ton of screws. Cutting the desired shape of the bench was actually tough. First, they don't call it ironwood for nothing. Second, I should have used the right tool for the job, which is a bandsaw, not a jigsaw. But I don't own a bandsaw, so a jigsaw it is. I hacked away at this. It created an awful jaggedy cut that I knew wasn't going to sand out very easy. Once I had it cut, I laid the original bench top on top of the new wood and proceeded to glue them together. I put on a little too much wood glue and I had to wipe that off again. I went about drilling a countersink for all the wood screws I was going to use to keep these 2 boards together. I put a piece of tape on my drill bit so I wouldn't drill too deep into the wood, but deep enough that I know the screw will actually go deep enough into the wood that I can hide the wood screw later. Once all the holes were drilled, I popped a screw into each one. This is a lot of screws. I'm really trying hard to make sure these 2 boards don't separate later. Quick request to all you professional carpenters out there in YouTube land. This is not the Blacktail Studio channel. This is a channel of a guy trying to figure things out as he goes along. And by the time you watch this, I've already done it, so it's too late, but I like you watching anyway. Once all the screws were in, I decided to fill each hole with wood putty so I could sand them down for a smooth finish. This is on the underside of the bench, which few folks are ever gonna see, so I'm not too bothered by how this looks. Mostly, I just want a really strong bench. Now that the 2 bench tops are attached, I can affix the 2 pieces of the original bench that have broken off. I used the same technique with wood glue and screws, and it seemed to go pretty well. Then, once those were on, it was time to start shaping this thing. These edges are garbage. I absolutely used the wrong tool for the job. Absolutely. There's no way around it, but it's the only tool I had, so that's what I did. I used a belt sander to hog away a lot of the bulk, and then an orbital sander for the rest. I also tried using a hand scraper, which wasn't super effective, and I did a fair bit of just plain old hand sanding. I hate sanding, but I also love sanding, because it really starts to bring your project to life with a more polished look. In the end, I actually managed to create some bench edges I didn't hate. I decided to stain the original bench in hopes I could get it darker and get close to matching the tone of the ipe wood. Overall, yeah, I think it looks really nice. Yeah. The bench is actually freaking heavy. If we were still on the mooring ball, I'm not sure I'd even be able to get it out there in my deluxe electric dinghy.
Whoa. Look at that sexy piece of wood. Whoa. He did it. Nice.
All right, now we got to see if this is gonna fit or not. Gosh, I hope it does.
Oh my gosh.
I spent so long working on this. I've been waiting till we had a slip.
Need my help? A man and his princely bench.
Ugh. Doesn't fit perfectly, so I'm gonna have to adjust, but.
I don't know, I think it's perfect.
All right.
Nice. Feels solid.
Yeah, see, but it's like
Yeah, it's high in the back.
tie in the back. I gotta fix that somehow.
It's super solid, and it actually matches the wood of the transom hatch pretty well. I'm feeling pretty dang good about my wood jazz. That princess bench is the best seat in the house, so we really wanted to take the boat out and get to enjoy the bench. However, for those of you who don't know, a full keel boat, which is what we have, doesn't want to back up responsibly. Nope, nada, nay, no. The problem is that the prop is located so tightly between the keel and the rudder that you really have to get quite a bit of speed going before you have any kind of response to the current moving over the rudder and thus steering. So in tight quarters, it's really difficult to back up in a full keel boat because you can't get enough speed going to start steering. And by the time you get that speed, well, you've probably crashed into somebody else. So I decided to fix a line from the starboard stern cleat to the walkway that's pretty close to the boat. The idea being that as we back up, I can pull the stern end of the boat in the direction that I want it to go, since I can't actually steer that direction. And I feel like it's gonna give me the right angle, so we're gonna test that out. And it sort of worked.
What's that? Oh, the nose.
You want me to stop that?
It's so good. You're probably gonna wanna, you got like, there you go. Yeah.
That was sketchy. That was so sketchy.
I don't know about that.
First sail with the Princess bench. That took a lot of work.
It's beautiful.
How does it feel?
So sturdy.
Does it feel sturdy? Look at that. Not too shabby.
This slip location really isn't ideal for our boat, but we're just so happy to have a slip at such an affordable rate. Every dollar we save right now is going right back into the boat. So for us, we're just gonna make do and deal with the tight quarters until hopefully another slip that's maybe better suited for our boat comes available later in the year. There's a really long waiting list at this marina, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. But fingers crossed, we can get something better in the future. Speaking of dollars saved that are gonna go back into the boat, if the hat didn't give it away, our merch site is up and live. I'm super duper proud of the logo I designed for Offshore Esprit. The phrase Offshore Esprit is something that we came up with as well. Offshore Esprit is meant to describe the feeling you get when you're away from land, when you're moving across the seas, and the wind and sun is in your face, and the smell of salt water is all around you. It's that spirit of adventure and the feeling of being truly alive and in the moment. We got a taste of this years ago, and we've slowly been chipping away at a plan that would ultimately get us our own boat, teach us the skills we'd need to operate that boat and repair that boat and maintain that boat, in the hopes that one day we can, do more than just, an afternoon cruise, that we can actually go exciting places, see new things, and really experience an adventure. If that idea resonates with you, we'd be super stoked if you'd rep a hat or a shirt. Just know that every dollar you spend is going right back into the boat. That's the whole idea. So hopefully it can be a win-win. You get some cool merch and we get some extra cash we can put right back into the boat. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Come on back next week. We have a bunch more boat projects ahead, which include installing a battery charger, some more carpentry, and we're even gonna do a little birthday sale to celebrate me getting a little bit older. We hope you'll come hang out with us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.